say 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 every month. By around 8 to 9 months, you are up to about 100.
Okay.
So if by 1 year that less than 80 to 90% should be able to get pregnant. So if people are failing to get pregnant, at least after 1 year of engaging in sexual activity, then we encourage them to come
and seek help.
And seek help.
Okay. You talked about the issue about that World Health Organization gave it at least 1 year, that if you're having live intercourse with your partner, at least in a space of 1 year, you should be able to have a child.
Yes.
But now after 1 year, the story goes, now this is where we want to change conversation, me and you, and we try to debunk on some of these myths. Personally, as a young woman, I have gone down this road multiple times where society is pushing you. It is time. You cannot not have a child. Why are you not married? But you know, if you are not married but have a child, the story is quite different. But if you don't have both, now the story is another thing. So now they're telling you, kalifuna yoko wa kumwana, zala yoko just olabidire kumwana. You know, it surrounds about that. And then they'll start saying, are you barren? So it intrigues me, this word barren. It is what as society has termed it. But in your perspective, do we even have the right to define barren and not barren, and what is barren and who is even barren?
I think where fertility has reached, where with all the treatments available, the word barren is misplaced.
Yeah.
It is a stigmatizing word. It is a word which makes people remain in a cave. The words that we are using now are delaying to conceive, people who are planning to conceive, people who are taking their time to conceive. But when society looks at two people who are staying together and they say, Laba, they are barren, it is stigmatizing. By the time you, even in the medical perspective, we never use that word because we know it is like a defeatist word, like now we are finished. I don't think with the current technology available, we have a right to call someone barren, because there is a solution. And society needs to understand that those words are not to be used in the current context.
Now that is one of the first myths of you have taken a year, you're most probably barren. Now let's discuss how society is viewing infertility. Has it evolved over time, or we are still stuck in the same old beliefs that we have and have moved no further and probably just graved and buried ourselves right in them?
Very good. You see, if we go back during Abrahamic times in the Bible, we saw in the Bible Adam struggled, Abraham and Sarah struggled with infertility. But from that time, millions and millions of years ago, infertility has been here with us. But even now, society has refused to wrap its head around that infertility is here and it is part of us and it will be here for the many years to come. If I put a little context, just like you've introduced, that 1 out of 6 couple will have fertility problems, or 2 out of 10 people who are married and who are intending to have children will have a challenge with having a child. So if something has been here from the beginning of mankind and we are still failing to accept that it is here, you see, it's a big problem. And diseases like HIV came in, diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis came in, and society said, okay, if you have syphilis, I know a clinic, I know a health center which can treat you. HIV has come and everyone is saying, please go and get treatment. I know places, if it is, at least every district has a center where HIV is treated, and society...
And people now do it so casually and talk about it so casually.
And we are so grateful that people no longer stigmatize people so much with HIV. But infertility is still so covered. After these very many years, it is still so deep, so hidden, and we think it is time to open that box and embrace that this thing is here, and we can take care of it.
Now, as we try to open this box, people are struggling with infertility, and the problem is, even as they're struggling with it, it's still hard to talk about it. Now, as a doctor, I'm sure you have seen these cases before, as a fertility doctor, to be clear. What are some of the psychological tortures and emotions these people go through as they're struggling with infertility within this society, this modern day society that up to now has failed to open up to infertility and the fact that it actually is here?
Yes. So infertility affects both the man and the woman. And the psychological burden on this couple is so enormous. I want society to look at it this way, that I get married to Genesis. The two of us are trying within our bedroom or wherever it is. We are trying every month to have a child, but things are not happening. Already we are tortured by the fact that the things which is supposed to give us children, we are doing it in whichever way we believe is supposed to give us children, and it is not giving us children. We are automatically tortured. Now society comes on board and says, what are you people waiting for? You are filling our toilets. This woman is finishing our son's money. She is not giving our son a hair. So you feel so drained. We see women who come, the first thing they enter the room, it is crying.
They are emotionally drained.
They are drained. They first cry for like 15 to 20 minutes to get it out, because there is no one outside there who is listening to them. Everyone is pointing a finger that, oh my God, look at her. They have given 10 cows. They have given 15 cows, but she's not having a child. She is already personally feeling a failure in her heart. And society is adding a wound to that failure, to an existing failure. Men can end up going into, men normally don't talk, so they either bury themselves into alcohol or into some form of something which they find,
pick up characters,
they pick a habit and start battling with that habit. So the psychological torture on the couple, first of all, within themselves is high. They start doubting themselves. They're saying, maybe Genesis, it is you. Maybe Dr. Pili, you are the one with the problem. Which
I believe also is now creating conflict among the marriage.
Yes, they're already conflicting. They don't know where the problem is. And then the neighbor comes and winks at us, hey, is that spitting for pregnancy? I'm saying these days you are stopping to eat this type of food. Are things happening? You're already feeling beaten, and someone is pushing you to the wall. So you enter back into your cave. Instead of this person coming up and saying, okay, what can we do about it?
We are looking at now the support system, talking about listening to everything you have said, and people can come to hospital and break down in front of you. And you know, it makes sense how you take long to see someone, and then you meet them, and then the first thing you ask them is, Genesis, do you now have a child? Like, someone is not going to ask you what are some of the improvements that you've done with yourself. At what sectors have you grown into now? Did you probably go back to school? Are you thinking of this and this? No. Do you have a child? Now, for someone who is already struggling, I just don't want to imagine what that kind of statement can mean to them. But what resources are there? What available ways are there that you mitigate as a fertility doctor at Bethany? What do you do when you're handling patients like this?
Okay, before I come to what we really do, I want to give you a particular example.
Okay.
There's a lady who has decided that my brothers and my sisters have children. My mom is not well, is not fine. I will devote a few years of my life to take care, to lift my family out of this state to another state.
Level,
She is contributing so much to the well-being of that family. But do you know how they define her? She is infertile. She has failed to. Society fails to look at that this lady
developments
is working left, right, center to lift the family, probably out of poverty.
Yeah.
But they fail to define you in terms of what you are doing, and define you in terms of your inability to bear a child. So there are things which this couple are doing. They could even be helping a community.
Yes.
They are helping a church. But every time everyone is pointing a finger. What are you people doing? Why are you people not helping? So to come specific to what are we doing in Bethany, I always tell people outside there, do not allow society to take over your life when it comes to infertility. If 1 year of trying to have a child, for someone, or if you think, for me I actually say, if you think you have tried enough, because there are people who have some bit of science. They know which days are. These days we have so many apps.
They try to calculate their cycles.
They calculate the cycles. They think they have calculated enough. Come, get us to evaluate you. The first step always is to see a professional. Start the journey. If you can get access to a gynecologist, that is good enough. If you can get access to a gynecologist who is also a fertility specialist, there might not be many, but get access to a gynecologist and talk. And discussing is always the first step to fertility treatment.
The fact that you are even talking about it openly.
Yes. There are people outside there who will embrace you, who will say, it's okay, Genesis, let's talk about this. Let's troubleshoot this together. So don't, if you don't come, I can assure you, society will take over. Your mother-in-law will take over, your father-in-law will take over, your neighbor will take over your life, everyone will take over your life and put you in a corner. Now to get out of that corner is where you will find yourself struggling, because everywhere you're turning, people are looking. We have people.
I believe the healing process even gets harder.
Yes, we have people who come to the hospital. They veil themselves. They are not of the other faith, but they have to veil themselves because they don't even want to be seen
coming to the hospital.
Yes, but you see, you are a whole responsible person in society, and society is reducing you into this person whose personality now has to be hidden.
That's a pity.
Yes.
And you know what overwhelms me is, I don't know if society has picked onto some of these characters or cultures that they don't realize how engraved they are and how bad they are, how bad they exist into yourself as a person. We don't, as Genesis, if I'm walking around and the only thing someone is going to tell me when they see me is, why haven't you had a child yet? Why do you work if you don't have a child? You know, at first it seems like you can take it, then the second time it starts cropping in, it crops in, and before you notice, you are struggling with accepting the fact that you don't have a child yet, and you may end up making mistakes into the things. When we were talking earlier, you were talking about barrenness, and there's something you said that got stuck on my brain, and you said there is no one, we cannot define barrenness, because of all the things that God gave you that make you able to have a child, it is impossible for you not to have all of them. So there's always a way for you to have a what? To have a child. Now that's where I want us to dig into. If I have struggled for the year I've been having this sexual intercourse with my partner and I've still failed, and how can we mitigate that? And I think that's another story that I want us to dig deeper into for someone out there that is struggling to know there is a way that you can mitigate this. But before we go deeper into that, allow us take a short break. The story still continues, and all those that are still on our social media platforms, we will be taking a very short break, but then we'll be back and Dr. Pili will be diving deeper into some of the ways that you can mitigate infertility challenges that you're facing.
Bethany TV for health. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to introduce Bethany Santa Omugabi, who will be sharing wonderful goodies with you this Christmas season. Getting a chance to meet Bethany Santa Omugabi is easy. Just tune into Bethany TV and get to know our various programs and talented presenters. Bethany Santa Omugabi will make surprise appearances during our live programs and offer Christmas hampers filled with an assortment of goodies, including healthy food items. When you spot Bethany Santa Omugabi during any of our programs, be the first to call in and say, "Hello, Bethany Santa Omugabi. I am your Christmas date." He will then ask you a simple question about our programs and presenters. If you answer correctly, you instantly win a mega Christmas hamper. But that's not all. You can also respond on social media. The first 20 people to respond to each question on social media will be entered into a draw. And lucky winners will be picked and announced during Bethany Santa Live on Saturdays. Bethany Santa Omugabi, only on Bethany TV for Health. Introducing Medical Minds with Dr. Andabati.
And these tubes can be so delicate that sometimes they get damaged. Some people have gotten the damage because they have undergone some operations. So damage to the tube system is one of the big problems we also do see.
The groundbreaking show that takes you behind the scenes of the medical minds.
You will explore cutting-edge treatment and technologies revolutionizing reproduction health.
Now, in retrograde ejaculation, we get damage to the junctional valves, which I should say.
Learn about the science behind fertility, contraception, and emotional journeys that several women trek.
Every Sunday, 8 p.m., live on Bethany TV. Showing on Bethany TV, growing and multiplying.
Father, we thank you that as we've master joined our faith on this earth, whatever
touching those close and beyond, the Word of God ministered, lives changed.
Our God made a way for the children of Israel and they made it to the promised land.
the day of salvation, and today is a day of freedom for you in Jesus' name. If you believe it, say amen.
We celebrate the resurrection because Jesus is alive.
It's a brand new day. Here we go, we say it's a brand new day.
Never miss the Watuto Sunday service every Sunday, 10 to 11:30 a.m. live on Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, and welcome back from that very short break. Now, for those of you that are watching us from our Bethany TV, you should be aware that as we get to approach to the Christmas day, of course, we have Father Christmas, we have Santa Claus. I always refer to him as Father Christmas, and Chintu laughs at me, but that is the childhood memory. So here at Bethany TV, at any point when you're having a program, Father Christmas can pop in at any second with gifts. Now, all you have to do is pick up your phone, call him, and allow him to ask you one of the easiest questions. And these questions are going to probably be about the programming of Bethany TV. And when you answer that question right, you win yourself a Christmas gift. Now, Christmas Santa is here at Bethany TV, and I will be expecting a gift from you as well, Dr. Pili, a Christmas gift. I think I've made the communication on time. Doctor, we're still talking
1
about
month
this.
in advance.
Oh
please.
yes, I don't want issues of Genesis. You did not inform me on time. I did not know. I was not aware. Now you're aware. Okay, let's get
In
back
my
to the
diary.
topic, please. So we're talking about infertility. Of course, we're discussing some of the ways that we can mitigate infertility issues. Like Dr. Pili said, you cannot round it to being barren or infertile until a doctor has actually told you. So now it's only a doctor that is going to be able to tell you that now, Genesis, you're infertile or you have failed to have a child. But before then, it means there are still multiple ways that you can work around to make sure you can actually conceive or have a way of having a baby. And now those methods is what I want us to dig deeper into. The women out there or the gentlemen out there that are getting challenges with infertility would want to know a way forward. Is there hope at the end of the tunnel?
Very good. There is enormous hope. Actually, if we go into the science of treating infertility, there might only be a 1% of the population that we might not be able to treat. The remaining 99% will have a solution.
Yes.
And I really want people to appreciate that do not characterize yourself. Do not tell yourself, you know, for us, we have tried for 5 years, things have refused. People, I might be married to you, Genesis, and maybe I stay in West Nile and you stay in Kampala. And the way our work schedules run, we might not find a convenient time. You're stressed, I am stressed. Maybe when I come, my parent is sick.
Exhausted.
You are exhausted. I have a family emergency. Things are just not working between us. So sometimes you just come and meet a doctor. We look at the paradigm you people belong to, and it's a simple advice of meet on this day. Count your cycle the way I look at your cycle. I think your most fertile time is this, and people come back and they're pregnant. So sometimes it can be as simple as that advice. But you see, you would have stayed for 5 years in the community. Many people in the community think fertile window is day 14. You see, everyone somehow knows day 14.
Day 14, yes.
Yes, but not every woman has day 14.
Yeah.
Everyone is targeting day 14, day 14, day 14. Day 14, maybe the egg has passed or the sperms have passed off.
Yeah.
So you need a doctor to calculate. Everybody has a particular menstrual cycle when they are fertile. So sometimes it just takes that simple, like I said, sit with the doctor, calculate the days together, and to go more deeper, there are things which we can simply do a scan and find maybe there is a small swelling in the reproductive system which we can go and remove. Or there are days when the way the eggs are coming are a little bit not the way they're supposed to. We give you a tablet which might take you maybe even 5,000. So go buy this tablet and it will facilitate your ability to release eggs and get pregnant. So that's why we are saying close to 100% of these problems can be solved. Your first step is don't stigmatize yourself. Don't say, I have tried for 1 year and things have failed. Now let me forget. The worst part with men, and this is quite pertinent, women, I am quite happy women come to hospital sometimes when things are not working, they come. Men go to another woman. They say, I failed here, let me go
try
and try.
Another woman. Yeah.
So they try their fertility with another, because to a man failing to impregnate your wife is like
abomination.
It is like the clan is against you.
Yeah.
So they go and try another woman, not knowing there is a risk of now HIV, there is a risk of other STDs.
Worse complications at that.
Yeah. Yes. And these things lead to domestic violence. So we encourage, I really encourage people, please come. The tests are there. I know along the way you'll ask me about, people say fertility is costly, we shall reach there.
Yes.
But first forget about
what people are telling you about it. Yeah.
Go and seek the professionals. Remove yourself from the stigma, remove yourself from the fear, because there are some of us who have embraced you people.
Oh yes.
Who have said, we shall rise and fall with you people, because we understand that you deserve to achieve your dream.
You said something about getting yourself out of the stigma, and then it pushed me to actually where the stigma stems from, to the women, towards the women particularly, and this is from the parents. I can say the family, where the family is pushing you. Why haven't you had a child? If you've probably managed to conceive and get one, watch your mana. That's exactly how they say it. You should be able to have a second child by the time the child is 1 year. You should be pregnant by this time. Why are you not getting pregnant? Why are you not doing this? And now it gets worse if you've not had any child before. And any woman out there that is listening to me that has not had a child, or is struggling to have a child, or is not even ready to have a child, I'm sure you can prove me right that this is a question that we encounter from time to time. Genesis, why haven't you done it? What are you waiting for? Do you think there's enough time? You're aging. Now I don't want to talk about the issue that has to do with age. Emyaka gikugenzeko, at what point are you going to be able? So these parents, that where it stems from, how do we handle it?
I have friends, clients who come to the facility and tell me, I have not gone to see my mother for the last 2 years. My auntie, when I see her call, my heart starts to beat because I know the discussion which is coming. They are already scared of going to their home. This is what they call home. They now cocoon themselves in their rentals or in their houses. They can't attend parties. They can't attend functions because all the singers are going to gang against you. Now, I give them this simple example. I tell them, by the way, the reason they want you to get pregnant is not for you. And they say, how come? It is me. I tell them, no.
They just love me enough.
Yes, I tell them, no. You see, if I am your mom, and I have you as my daughter, I want you to get pregnant so that society does not look at me as a failure. Correct. So they are doing it for themselves. They are pushing you, Genesis, to get pregnant so that society also does not abuse them. Society does not say, oh, you have given birth to only girls who are moving around Kampala. And they have failed to get married. You woman, you are also a failure. So they don't want society to
tag them as that.
To tag them as failures. Always, the ones who we eventually help and get children, then even the mother or the mother-in-law does not come and say, oh, thank you for giving birth. They rarely do that. They say, Omanachi, Mulenzi. Now, when are you bringing the girl? And then say, is the girl, is the baby resembling our person? So they introduce another paradigm. So you see, for you have struggled, you have said, okay, now finally, I have gotten a child. They even don't come to see the child in the hospital. Then they'll say, hey, she has given birth. Okay, that might be the
girl or a boy?
That might be the last time you get a call from her. The next time you get a call is, when are you getting pregnant again? So they are doing it to satisfy themselves.
Their own interests, basically.
Yes, they want society not to make them look like they are failures. So it is not basically like, you know, Genesis, I'm happy, I want you to get a baby, I will be all over you. No. So the ladies outside there, my dear sisters, do not allow society to put you in a box. I am here with Genesis. The work she is doing right now is to serve humanity. But society wants to put her like, if she has not given birth, she cannot even do the work she's doing.
She's still lacking.
I personally cannot do what she's doing. But you see, society, because maybe she does not have a child, society now boxes her. She can't even maybe, I'm not saying her, but there are so many ladies outside there who have failed to attend wedding ceremonies, who have failed to attend birthday parties for their sisters.
They literally run away from gatherings.
Yes. I had a client whose sister and the family was virtually telling her, we will disown you.
Wow.
Because you are not part of this family anymore. You don't want to bring children, you are all about money, and this is the one paying the school fees of the remaining siblings. But they want to disown her. Instead of society coming and say, oh, our daughter, don't worry. My daughter, I know these things of marriage can sometimes be tough. I have been there. I have been married. It is tough. I want you to take your time. I want you to segment. I want you to look at this man properly, so that you raise a family as a husband and wife, not mother alone, father alone. We will support you. We will be there for you, and we will go to these hospitals with you. You see, you feel embraced. You feel someone is there for you.
And the process gets easier to
very
go through.
easy.
Yeah, when you have all the right support around you, the process definitely gets easier. I'm glad to listen to that, and I hope every woman that is listening out there knows that what I've learned is you need to take the first step. The first step is you talking about it with your fertility doctor. So you can go to a fertility clinic or hospital that you know. You can come to Bethany Bethany Hospital, sorry, or if you know another, you can go there as well. But take the first step of you seeking the help of fertility doctor before you embrace infertility that you cannot actually account for. As we talk about approaching a fertility doctor, the implication of finances come in. There's still the whole surrounding terror of it is really costly to get fertility treatment. It is really costly to get through these doctors. They're so expensive. Oh, Bethany Women and Family Hospital must be too expensive. In fact, I don't want to try to go there. Should we be scared of taking the first step because of the finance complications that come with it?
Every time I interact with clients, the ones who endeavor to come, or the people who I talk to about infertility, and they say infertility is costly, I ask them, is the stigma cheap?
That's a good one.
So, the stigma is more costly, Genesis. The way they will make your life hell is more costly than picking a 50,000, 20,000, 70,000, 100,000 to say, let me find out what is going on with me. I want to bring it like this. You see, the reproductive system is not like the hand you can see. It's not like your fingers, your hands that, hey, my fingernail has grown, let me go and cut it. Or my lips are cracking, let me put. The reproductive system is inside. You can't see it as a woman. The only part of the reproductive system you can see is the private parts. Even for men, you can only see the private part, but you don't see the inside. So, when you come to us, we are able to see the inside. And it is not costly. The real essence of the first step of talking to a doctor, like I said, you need, let's say, 50,000, you need 30,000, you need 20,000 to go and see the doctor and talk. I sit with people in my office and we talk like 20, 30, 40 minutes, like they have been crying for the last 5 years. We talk. And sometimes in the process of talking, the answers actually come in there. So
the conversation.
In the conversation.
The lines there,
Yes. So don't look at infertility as IVF. You see what people look at infertility treatment, they look at it as IVF. What people call test tube babies. They say, oh, test tube baby is 15 million, is 17 million. IVF treats about 1% of infertility.
Okay.
It is a very small percentage of people who need IVF. A greater percentage of the people, I need to give you medicine. I need to just tell you how to meet your partner. I need to reorganize your menstrual cycle. I might have to actually go and remove a fibroid, which is preventing you from getting pregnant. So, if you say infertility is very costly and it makes you now die in, you actually allow your husband to get another woman, or you categorize yourself that me, I cannot afford infertility. Please, no, it is not costly. The gynecologists are everywhere in this country. I am quite sure every part of this country has a gynecologist seated
and a good gynecologist as well. As we wind down, this is the last question that I wanted to ask you, and I intended to ask it last. Why, when we were having the conversation earlier on, I was looking forward to this podcast that we are having today, because I realized that you wanted to have this for the interest of your patients, because you have seen this, you have seen it grow, and you've seen how engraved in sorrow they are. So I realized that you actually wanted this because you wanted to pass information that is going to be able to help someone out there, a woman or a man out there. So what I want to know is, at what point were you put at an angle where you said, no, as a society we need a paradigm shift when it comes to the issue of infertility? What triggered that moment? I know there are enormous of them that are there, but I want to know that particular moment that pushed you there.
Yes, this one, I was taking care of this couple. They came to me after moving to 5 different rental places. They got married about 5 years ago. In their first place where they settled after marriage, 1 year down the road, they couldn't get a child. Society abused them. They shifted.
Yeah.
They went there. The whole issue followed them. They shifted.
Just for not having a child.
They went to 5 different locations, just running away from society. I said, no, these people are human beings. They have a soul. They contribute a lot to the well-being. These are working professionals. I can tell you, they are highly educated professionals, but they are running away from society, and people who might not even contribute so much, but because they are being abused, and when they came to me, it was all about a small thing was growing in the ladies' reproductive system. We went in, removed it, and wow, the next month they were pregnant. So I said, no, society cannot make life this hard for people. So another thing is, you have failed. Even when you fail to give birth to a particular gender, they might call you infertile. You might have 3 or 4 children, maybe all of them are girls. Then the mother-in-law says, you tazara, because you do not have. Yes. So their infertility can also be because you have failed to give birth to a particular gender.
Yes.
But the parting shot really is, ladies and gentlemen outside there, please, some doctors, some people have embraced that you are around and you can be assisted.
Yes.
And don't die in silence. Come, we talk, we discuss, and we find a way of taking you through the journey. We are not saying just come with 1 billion, put it. No. I told you from the very beginning that sometimes it's just about giving you a pill. Go and swallow this pill and
see what happens.
Yes. Thank God you get pregnant.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's been great having this conversation with you. It's been very informative, and I'm sure all the ladies and gentlemen that are out there listening to us, maybe on our X Spaces, or maybe on YouTube, or maybe you're watching Bethany TV as we're live now, I'm sure that you have been able to pick something, and I'm sure if you were struggling with a challenge that not just you but multiple people out there of reproductive age are struggling with as well, then you will be able to take the first step, and that is you seeking to see a gynecologist, or you can say a fertility doctor. But that said, we've come to the end of this particular show, and allow me close up, but make sure you stay here on Bethany TV, because we have another amazing program that is going to be coming your way. Nutrition Spot with a Gift Nakayinga is coming up, another hell of knowledge that you need to pick up from. I'm Genesis Namale. See you again.
Bethany TV for health. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to introduce Bethany Santa Omugabi, who will be sharing wonderful goodies with you this Christmas season.